So before I say anything, we're just gonna kind of like watch the opening cutscene for this one. Oh, it's a lot of stuff. Stuff's starting to kind of get a little bit real here. So I played through Man of Medan earlier. I mentioned it last episode that I was kind of looking forward to trying that out. It wasn't long. It was like about 4 hours long for me. I wouldn't say it was as good as Until Dawn was. Same developers, by the way, if you don't know. It's kind of like a Ghost Ship interpretation of Until Dawn, almost, is the best way to put it. Really reliant on jump scares, but like I thought it was really, really well done. Although I see a lot of people kind of, I don't want to say hating on it, but definitely being displeased with it only being like 3 to 4 hours long for your first playthrough. But like, to me, that was just about perfect. I can't remember if I talked about that last episode, like how, I know we talked DLC and stuff, but like overall game length and whatnot, like I tend to prefer like shorter, like more concise games. Once you start kind of like getting to that like 8+ hour territory, a game usually starts losing me. Because I just don't, I have talked about this, like I just don't have the time. And I like, you know, like just a very like short game. And I thought Man of Medan was perfect. Like it was just the right length. By the time it was over, I felt like the story played its course. I knew every character. It was like watching, you know, a really, really long horror film. It worked out really well. I was very happy with it. It's also good because that's like one game down. And now today, Blair Witch is out, as well as Astral Chain. Also just dropped today. So I'm for sure playing Blair Witch, which thankfully is part of the Xbox Game Pass, at least on PC. Which I subscribe to, and it's really cheap, and like I'm getting great value out of it. It's like $5 a month right now. I think it's been going up to 10 at some point. And at that price, I'm getting Blair Witch, which is a $30 game day one. I'm also getting Halo Master Chief Collection, Gears 5. So like it is saving me all the money right now, which I am very, very happy about. It was a great investment. So I'm very much looking forward to a bunch of games to play. And I don't have to pay that much right now. The only games I'm gonna have to end up paying for that I really want to play are Astral Chain and Control. And Control I get 10% off. Because I have Humble Monthly. And you can just buy the game key for that on Humble. So I got that for like 50. And then Astral Chain will be like a full price kind of game. I don't know if I'm gonna go to that one right away anyway, so I'm just gonna hold off, you know, before I buy that one. But I have good hopes. Let's put it like that. I have a lot of hope for that game. But yeah, Xbox Game Pass. It saved me a lot of money. And if I really like Blair Witch, I might just like buy the Steam release or something, just to have like a permanent copy of it. Or like my own copy of it. Or as much of a copy that you can possibly own by the means of digital distribution. Because owning games digitally just doesn't really mean you own them. You just kind of like, you know, have the license to have them or use them. So because of that and DRM and whatnot, I tend to buy from GOG when I can. Like I like having DRM free, and I like knowing I in some way, shape, or form own the digital games I bought. And I don't, you know, risk losing them because of, like, licenses, or because I I don't lose them because I technically just have a license for them and things like that. I like actually owning my games, so I am always looking at the GOG for games first and foremost. I don't know if Blair Witch is gonna be a part of that or not, though. But if it's, I don't know if it'll be good enough to even, like, warrant buying, though. We'll see. I'm a bad shot. I don't have the highest hopes for that game, just because to me it looks like it's slender. Like, it just looks like it's gonna be slender. With a Blair Witch, like, skin on it. At least, like, the offset. Or the onset. I don't know what the proper word for that is. But it's probably, like, the Layers of Fear dudes and whatnot. I think published by him, or maybe it was developed by him, but like, you know, they have like the Layers of Fear pedigree and like Observer pedigree behind them, which like they're okay games, like they're not great. I thought Layers of Fear 2 actually was kind of terrible, if I'm gonna be completely honest. But we'll see how the Blair Witch game goes. I'm just, like, not getting super amped for it, but I know it's definitely something that appeals to me. Because I always loved Blair Witch growing up. Like, that was the movie. Like, was that real kind of movie, you know? Like, back then, like, a lot of people took that film very seriously. And for some reason, they thought it was legit, even though, you know, you could buy it on VHS. Officially. With movie production labels and stuff on it. It was really weird. Yeah. Because of that, I've always been like a Blair Witch kind of person. And I never actually got a chance to play, like, the original Blair Witch games, because they were, like, there were two, like, survival horror ones that came out. No, 3 survival horror ones that came out on PC, I should say. There were a lot. I never got to play them. I never heard much good about them, but I never heard much bad about them. I think it was mainly because it was, like, an early 2000s PC survival horror, which I think at the time, probably not the biggest deal. You know? Like, is what it is. Oh, God. But yeah, never got around to them. One day, hopefully, maybe I can try them out. Maybe, like, they'll get, like, a re-release on GOG or something, or Steam. Because I really wouldn't mind trying them out. I've always been curious, but I know, like, on modern OSs, they're probably not going to work well. Which is very unfortunate. But my curiosity with that has always been pretty high. But we'll see. Maybe one day I'll finally get around to it. But I have way too many other games to play anyways. I kind of, like, lost track what I was talking about. I know I talked about Blair Witch and all the games that are coming out and Xbox Game Pass. Kind of lost track and how good Man of Medan is. Man of Medan, that's a lot of stuff. Wait. It's saying I can just crouch to avoid these? You can just crouch. Oh. Some you gotta jump. Do I gotta refight that dude? Please don't tell me I gotta refight that dude. Okay, good. I was getting worried. Just use this gun and try to avoid stuff. But, yeah, lots of games. Same rant as always. Like, I've been doing, like, every episode of this. Which, I know, like, as this, like, series goes on, it's been just kind of, like, going to, like, more and more of, like, a Let's Play style. But, I don't know, like, I've just kind of been feeling like doing the Let's Play style. Not gonna lie, because I never really do the Let's Play thing a ton. And I haven't for a while now. I used to. Like, it's like, a different feeling. Kind of, like, you know, just talking about the game in hand. So, like, I've just been kind of, like, gradually going into that a little bit. But, you know, trying to reel it back here and there. Just so I'm, like, no, you know, like, not super samey. Even though I know I've been very samey throughout this entire, playthrough. But hey, what can you do? You know what I actually want to do? I want to go on Shudder, probably, like, after I'm done recording stuff today. Because I think I'm going to record, like, 2 videos today, if I can. I kind of want to go on Shudder and just find a fun horror film to watch. Because, truth be told, I've been subbing to Shudder now for a while, like 5 months probably, 4 months, 5 months. And I think I've only watched like 5 or 6 movies in full on it. Now, mind you, I'm only paying like $5 a month for Shudder, and that's averaging out to like 1 movie per month. So I mean, like, it's not like I'm getting a terrible value, to be honest. Like, $5 for a movie I think is perfectly reasonable. But I could totally watch some more. I was gonna find one that sounds like super appealing. And that's the tricky thing. Well, yeah, maybe I'll do like a Shudder thing. We'll see. Because I do want to use their service more, because I think their service is great. It's priced very fairly. There's a lot of cool classic stuff on it. I'm kind of like in a horror mood today, especially after doing Man of Medan. So, maybe I will. We'll see. I don't know. Or I'll kick off like 2 episodes from now if I do record 2 tonight. Or this morning, rather, because it is 11:30 in the morning. Maybe I'll just, you know, come back here, like, in 2 episodes, or, like, next episode, and be like, I decided against it. Or maybe I'll just completely forgot I talk about this. That happens a lot. I kind of forget, like, about what I talk about, like, minutes after. Like, just genuinely minutes after. I used to think, oh, I'm losing my mind. Short-term memory. Now it's like, yeah, I'm just getting old. I'm just kind of, like, filtering out the useless stuff I say with the important stuff. Maybe it's just saying, like, what I'm saying, like, is useless isn't right, considering I'm trying to, like, upload it and, you know, present this as useful. But, you know, no, useless. This entire series itself is just kind of useless. It's just a way for me to ramble. So, so be it. And to be completely honest, I'm kind of hoping this game gets closer to the end really soon. Because even though I'm only, like, what, 3 hours deep in this right now? 3.5 hours deep or something? Like, it's starting to feel like it's dragging a bit. Like, I do like the mechanics they introduce, and I like when they try to switch things up, but it's essentially been the same thing so far. I think it's, like, my big problem with, like, FPS campaigns. And with, like, why I don't really do them much anymore. It's just, they kind of become, like, shooting galleries. And, like, that's it. If it's the same enemies over and over again, you might throw a boss in or two, and maybe they'll give you, like, a new weapon to mess around with, but it's seemingly the same thing the entire way through. It's not like, let's say, like, an RPG, like, where there's, like, this big, massive, you know, like, story element going. Ooh, it levels over.
The soldiers fought off the worst of the attack on the northern entrance, but we then faced a graver threat. The Chimera had infiltrated the hangar on the south side. If we didn't get the planes out safely, then all would truly be lost.
Get to the hangar! Make sure all the transports get out!
What we got now? Evacuation. I think this is level 20 out of 30. Yeah, I'll continue that talking point after this lovely loading time, and I take a nice sip of water. The best of all the liquids. It's actually kind of a long loading time. There we go.
Captain Parker, the Chimera have sealed the base. Only Hale's made it inside.
Then pray he's enough.
On every
All right.
star in the sky, Captain.
But yeah, so like it's not like an FPS has like this gradual shift in power and like this huge difference in enemies typically. There's a lot of stuff in here. Like what you start with is kind of like what you get. Like the power of the weapons don't really change much throughout. Not speaking for all FPS, but like a good amount. Like there's some that are different, you know, and there's like big power shifts. Like stuff like Borderlands and whatnot, you know, like that encourages like looting multiple weapons and things like that. Like there's power shifts and stuff in certain FPS. But most, it's like you're going to be facing the same generic enemies most of the game. They'll introduce a few special types here and there. Your guns are always going to roughly do the same amount of damage. It's not like you're collecting, like, a brand new gun, like, every, you know, room. Or really leveling yourself up. Like, if I was, like, a very specific format. And there's, like, really, like, no huge power creep to, like, speak of in majority of FPS. So when it comes to, like, single-player, like, style, it's... a lot of them kind of, like, get old very, very fast. Like, I love FPS, like, for multiplayer, but, like, story mode, like, I like them to be quick. Or for them to do something, like, super, super unique. And, like, while this game's very solid, like, it is a good game, it is not a game that's going to, like, blow you away, you know? Like, even for the time, I don't think this would have blown me away. Like, I would think... because I did play this time, like, I remember really, really liking it. I just never finished it, and I probably never finished it because I was starting to get, like, bored of it. If I had to, like, assume. And I can see why. Like, I'll push through. I'll finally beat this game, and I'm gonna hope, like, Resistance 2 and 3 have a little bit more to offer. I think I'm sure they will. But... for a first outing for a new IP, it's not bad at all. Or a new IP at the time, it's not bad at all. I just kind of wish there was a little bit more variety to this. But at the same time, like, the way they wrote the story, it's like, where can you really get the variety? Not that it's a bad thing, it's not like they wrote the story wrong for this, or presented it wrong. I just think, you know, they could've found a way to kind of mix up the general gameplay loop a bit more, you know? Take advantage of the vehicles a bit more, maybe do, like, not more open levels, but, like, you know, slightly different looking levels. Because, like, visually it's just very monotonous and stuff, as we've covered many a times. But again, not bad by any means. These are just, like, little criticisms, like, little things I'm taking note of. But, like, I still think the game's great. I just know there could have been a lot more to it as I play it. But so be it. All good. Like, by the time this game's over, I'm not gonna say, like, damn, that was a boring, awful game. I'm gonna say, like, that was a really good game. It just, you know, it just kind of, like, lost its luster, maybe, like, as it kind of went on. But still a plenty fine game. What do we got? Nada.
Sergeant Hale, rendezvous with Lieutenant Everly in the hangar straight away.
Switch there. Okay. But, like, I just, like, don't want people to think, like, as if they watch me play through all this, because I doubt there's someone that's watched every single episode in full, right? But if there was, like, I don't want them to think I'm just, like, nonstop bitching about, like, the checkpoints and the enemy spam and just, you know, making it sound like I think it's a bad game. It's just, like, when I criticize something, I really, really focus on just the areas that I really don't like. Because, I don't know, like, there's a lot of stuff I can focus on that I do like in this game, but when the games get something super, super wrong, I tend to point it out. It's a bad habit. Like, I don't mean to, like, be, like, overly negative towards it, you know? It's just one of those things where I just kind of get frustrated with, like, certain mechanics, because I know, like, it shouldn't be there, and it's holding back this game from being, like, amazing, you know? Because right now it's just simply really, really good, but it could be more than good, is what I'm getting at. It'd be way more than just really good. Like, this could be, like, an all-time classic. If they just took a little bit more care and had a little bit more time with it. To really kind of, like, polish it up. But so be it. Because, like, every, like, complaint I have is just really, really minor. Outside of that driving mission. That driving's, like, mission's checkpoints were just beyond excusable. Like, they weren't. They should never release the game with no checkpoints for, like, 15 straight minutes. When I had to, like, do that level 3 times in a row, or 4 times in a row, just because I couldn't get a checkpoint, ugh. Kind of gave me a little bit of an annoyance, you know? Gave me that little frustration bug, is, I guess, the best way to put it. But so be it. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people out there that did that mission first try, no problems. And they're like, you know what? No, there was no issue here. I found an issue right now. I can't get through them. They're kind of locked. Can I crouch jump? There we go. Holy God. Alright.
Lieutenant Everly, status.
The Chimera keep fortifying their lines. We're unable to reach the
What's down? Is there any oh, there's intel down here. Okay. There is a purpose to down here. What do we got? 12-7-51, 11-15. Base is on full alert. Captain Parker just left in a hurry with 2 commando platoons. Northern Command was attacked while we were fighting in Nottingham. No word on survivors, but it sounds bad. We all know Southern Command will be next. It's just a matter of time. I've got extra ammo stashed in the map room. When the Chimera come, I'll be ready.
2 squads to the base
Alright.
list immediately.
Cool.
Roger, Command. Tango 3 and 4. Take and hold a position at the base of the city.
But yeah, I just get frustrated like when I know like a game almost completely nails it.
You heard me, Peters.
So I tend to get like very negative like about the parts that frustrate me. Because, like, it does genuinely suck for me, like, when I know, like, a game's great. You know? But it just has, like, those few mechanics where I'm like, ugh. Let's try this again. Oh, wait, no, I gotta fight the big guy again, don't I? Oh, here we go with the whole checkpoint thing again. It's not like, it was, like, only, like, 5 minutes of gameplay, but, like, it's frustrating, right? Because, as I discussed before, when you beat a gigantic enemy like this, that is essentially a boss, you kind of want to be recognized for it, and you don't really want to fight it twice in a row. And this game kind of makes you fight it twice in a row way too much. Although I think you can kind of beat it easy if you just focus the things on its back. Yeah. I think. And dead. Alright. I guess I just gotta grenade spam him again. That did the job really well. It's just stuff like that. Where I just don't get why. But it is what it is. I'm just gonna spam grenades at him, and then snipe him, and you should just die right away, like I did last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some of the... I'm actually almost dead. What? He's actually already almost killed me. What? He's gone. But now I need health, and there's commons here that can totally kill me, like, easily. Which is, like, the darkest timeline right now. Because I need to get health, and then I really need to advance. And then I wonder if... I can remember if I have to, like, recollect the intel or not. This is, like, a very... Like, the most minor of minor nitpicks, and it's just something I hate when games do it. But this is not, like, a negative mark against this game, because I don't know if it does it, or any other game that does do this. It's just my personal preference, and it's not even, like, a really criticism. But I hate, like, when you get collectibles in games, and you die, and it checkpoints you back, and you have to get the collectible again. Like, I wish it would kind of, like, remember that you got a collectible. Looks like this game actually does remember. So that's good. I can't remember if, like, I established that earlier in the series or not. But, I really do hate, like, finding, like, collectibles, and then the game's like, eh, you gotta do it again. Like, it actually drives me a little bit mental. Because sometimes, like, those collectibles are, like, a really, like, long way out of the way, and it's like, you got them, you found them. Why did you have to, like, prove that you found them twice, you know? Like, I don't think, like, it really adds anything fun to the game to do it twice. Alan Wake didn't save it. Alan Wake drove me nuts with it, because, like, every now and then, like, I would die. Like, I wasn't dying a ton in Alan Wake, but, like, when I did... It was usually, like, you know, 2-3 collectibles behind, because that game had, like, 100 of them. Over 100, actually. And you're like, cool, I got all this stuff, then you die, and it's like, well, now I gotta do this big detour again, and fight unnecessary waves of enemies, just to, like, make sure they stay unlocked, and it's like, ugh. But it's, like, not, like, a negative, you know, like, mark against, like, Alan Wake, for instance. It's just, you know, my own personal preference. Like, maybe some people like going for him again. They don't feel like, you know, they actually got him unless, you know, they survive. But for me, I would rather just collect them once. But I can see, like, both sides, and, like, I can also see, like, why someone would not even care. It's just a me thing. No biggie. So, you know what I actually haven't established? Oh, I figured out how you can swap grenade types. Okay. I was gonna say, like, I haven't established, like, grenade type swapping, so I did, like, the most logical button. And I was right. I like when you don't even, like, know the button for something, but, like, you just kind of guess and you're right, and that just kind of means, you know, they did a good selecting the button. Because a lot of games don't have, like, full controller remapping. Like, not many do. PC keyboard and mouse remapping? Yeah, of course. But, controller remapping isn't, like, super common. Which I always found very, very odd. And I kind of wish it was common, because I don't see, like, why you shouldn't have, like, remappable controls for anything. It just makes sense. Although, to be honest, I think this game's, like, default control scheme is, like, really good. Like, really, really good. They did a very nice job with it. Like, everything feels very natural, so... And it's not like, you know, it's like your typical kind of, like, FPS control scheme. Like, it's doing different buttons. It's not quite... Not everything's, like, exactly where you think it would be, but... It works. Like, it took me a while to kind of, like, get used to, like, holding L2 to crouch. Like, I think that's very odd, but it works. There's no complaints. Oh my god, like, you can actually read these, like, so many games, like, you can't even, like, read those kind of posters. It's, like, always, like, a big textury, blurry mess. Especially from this era. Not so much the current era, but, like, from the era this game came out, like, those are always so blurry. So that pleases me. But this entire era of games, too, was, like, really cool, right? Because it's, like, '06, like, the whole concept of, like, HD gaming on console and stuff just kind of started happening, and people finally started caring about, like, 60 FPS and things like that. Like the early winds of change with that were starting to happen, because I think people got very accustomed to, like, sub 30. Oh, there's an elevator right here. And then just kind of, like, fidelity and frame rate and stuff like that started to matter a whole lot more again, which I'm very thankful for, because I like me a good stable frame rate. Although this game is just locked at 30, but, like, it's a very stable 30. I don't think I've actually noticed, like, any frame rate dips at all. Which is great. It's like, while I may hate 30, I know I'm playing on a PS3, and I know what to expect. So I kind of keep my, expectations, like, you know, rational. And this game's, like, you know, been a very stable game. Which is nice, because, like, sometimes you get, like, those games on console, especially from this generation, where you're, like, you know, like, they say it's 30, and it's, like, actually more like 22 with, like, a high of 30. Like, it's kind of like a, it can run up to 30 sort of thing. I think I know where I am. I'm almost certain right now this is actually where I left off in my first playthrough and I gave up. I, some reason, remember this room being a nightmare to beat, and I can kind of see why I thought that. Because look at all the stuff they're throwing at me. Holy. I think this is actually where I gave up on the first time I played this game, like in 2006, 2007, 8, whenever it was. I think 07 or 08. I think I was genuinely out of ammo and I didn't know what to do. Okay. This seems way too familiar. Okay, this is actually exciting. If I get by this level, I've finally made it further than I've ever have in this game. And I'll officially recognize nothing going on. The end of this level is going to be like the perfect ending point for like a level. Oh, this is great. Okay. This is totally where I gave up. 100%. I recognize a lot of this. This is the room that did me in so many times I just couldn't take it. Oh. I feel good after that. That was a really good fight, too, but I can see, like, why I would have given up. I can definitely see why. Because that was a lot to handle. And knowing me, I probably put it, like, on hard mode, too. So, cool. I finally got further than ever. I suppose we use this. always exciting, like when you find, like when you recognize a thing, and you're like, I never made it past this. And I said that like in my first shot too. It's so awesome. Now watch me die and it checkpoints me back, and I lose my enthusiasm. We'll see. Alright, what do we got? We got a lot of stuff over here, actually. Do I have sniper bullets? I do not have any snipers left. Damn. And we got, like, basic grunts here. Okay. I love how, like, good the grenades are. That stands out to me a lot in this game, is just, like, how effective, like, the nades are. It's like, I definitely abuse them, because, like, it just takes out, like, every single enemy. Whereas, like most of the guns just kind of feel like pea shooters. Alright. Sorry, like, I'm just, like, super happy right now. Because so I'm getting, like, a little bit quiet, a little bit boring, because, like, I'm just, like, so hyped. Like, on the instant, like, I probably don't sound it, but as we covered, like, in episode 4 or 5, I kind of, like, try and maintain my voice at a certain level so I don't kill it. I'm just, like, super excited that I finally got past an area that I was stuck in, like, when I was back in high school. And it's been, like, over 10 years. And I finally did it. At least as far as I know, I've done it, because for all we know, I'm going to get stuck in another area and it's just going to checkpoint me back. But you know what? Until that happens, I'm just going to revel in this. Before I go that way, this actually seems like an end of level corridor, but before I even venture down there, I think there's health right here. I'm just going to get it for safety. Goodness. Let's get my shotgun out just in case. Good thing I did that. Grenades should kill everything in there. Alright. Any more health in here or no? Damn. Because I chunked out a full thing. If I go down to 1 bar, I know going back for that 1 health piece was completely worth it. Because that would mean I would have been dead. Nope, it wasn't even worth it, but you know what? It was nice to have the safety.
The soldiers were finally able to fight off the Chimera in the hangar. We ferried the survivors up to a rendezvous point in Cardiff, 20 miles west. I stayed at the base to finish loading what supplies we could. Chimeran Goliaths were already approaching Southern Command. A Spire attack seemed inevitable.
Get in here. We've got scores to settle.
Cool, so that's gonna do it for this episode. That was a fun, like, little section of levels, too, and I'm finally officially further than I've ever been, which is freaking awesome, but, I'm probably gonna take a little break, let my head rest a bit from this game, and then we will record the next episode, where I'll either just be a typical Let's Play or just talk about whatever. You know, the same old, same old. So, I'll catch you guys again for next level, Parting Ways. Have a good one, and toodles.